morning, and welcome back to the show. We are here with beloved receptionist, coordinator of all of our craziness here, and friend, Miss Tina Fornaro. How are you, Miss Fornaro?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great. Yeah,
Nice to
weather's
be here.
nice. Yeah.
It is nice.
Well, to start off, Miss Fornaro, let's go back to the beginning. Where did you grow up, and what was your childhood like?
I grew up in Mayfield Village, and my childhood was pretty typical. I have an older brother and older sister, so I'm the middle child. So you know what that means.
I know what
middle
that
child.
means, yeah.
I know. Get rejected, forgotten about. But it was great. And then I went to St. Francis for grade school and Notre Dame for high school when it was the all-girl school.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Yeah. And were there any extracurricular activities or clubs in high school that you were passionate about?
Not really. Played volleyball, but not very well. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good scene, but that's probably about it.
Yeah.
You know, looking back, did you ever have any like subjects or teachers who made a big impact on you back then?
You know, when I was in high school, I took this class. It was like home ec. It was like a sewing class. And I loved that teacher. I can't remember her name, but she was great. Like, she was just like down to earth, and she was young, and she was fun. And so I really liked that class. That was fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what you want in a teacher.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
You know, kind of looking back then or even now, what were some like the hobbies or interests growing up that you had that people may not know about? I mean, you know so much, but still, some of those things.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I don't know. You know, I had dogs growing up all my life, so I love dogs. And I used to hang out with my dog a lot and take, you know, how it is with the dogs. You do everything. I'm just trying to think. We had apple trees growing up, so I used to go to the apple trees, to run through the apple trees. And we had a big, huge grapevine, a grape, what do you call those?
Vineyard.
So we had that. So we would always, it was outside a lot and stuff like that. So it was fun.
Yeah. And after graduating high school, where did you go from there?
I went to Lakeland for a few years, and then I started working at a flower shop. I went to floral design school, and I worked in a flower shop for like 10 years, and then that was it. I had my kids, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
You know, what was kind of that first job at the flower shop? You never kind of think like that's something that like we don't really know. Like,
Right.
what was kind of like that job like? And do you remember any of those experiences?
Oh
from-
my God, I loved it. It was so much fun. I got to know this one girl there that I worked with, and she became like one of my best friends. But it was so fun because you work late into the night, and you just get like slap happy and just, you know, and then the customers, you know, you could say stuff about them, but you know, whatever. But anyway, it was fun. I learned a lot, and you learn a lot about customer service and dealing with people, which is good. That helped me my whole life. And it was just fun. It was nice being around the flowers, and they had a big greenhouse. So we used to go in the greenhouse, and like in the spring, like the hyacinths and the tulips, it was just so pretty.
Do you still do some flowers yourself now? Or?
Yeah, I do once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I miss it. I miss working there, but the hours were long. The greenhouse was hot, and I hate the hot.
Yeah. Well, and can you share the story of how you ended up here at university school?
Well, I worked at Notre Dame NDCL for like it started out in 2000. Then I worked at St. Clair for like 7 years, and I was at Notre Dame for 7 years. Then I went to Beaumont's, you know, all girls, totally different than all boys. And then after that, it was COVID, so they let a bunch of us go. And then I worked at Orange. I just subbed there for like a year, and then I got this job, which was like the best thing ever. So I'm very blessed to have found it.
what kind of like attracted you to this community? I mean, it's just such a great and large one at that.
It is. It's so pretty. Well, when I first pulled up, I'm like, oh my God, looks like a college. It was just, so overwhelming. It was beautiful. And I don't know, I just loved, because Dr. Daughtry was here at the time. Loved him. And it was just nice. Everyone was so nice and kind and friendly. And the boys are so sweet. And people would ask me sometimes, oh, aren't those boys? The families are, you know, whatever. And they're very actually down to earth and kind and loving and respectful. They're like, oh.
You know, going from an all-girls school to kind of all-boys school, what were your kind of first impressions like of US?
It was so much easier. A lot of drama with the girls. but it was cute drama. But you guys are so respectful and responsible and just amazing. Like the projects you guys do and things that you get involved. It is just amazing. It really is. You guys do a great job.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Who are some of those first people at US that made you feel welcome in your early days? I know you mentioned Dr. Daughtry. But...
Yes. Who else? Well, I met, Mr. Gallagher, who's great. And then who else did I meet first? Mrs. Coy and Mr. Perry. I'm trying to think who else, the HR people. But I'm trying to think what teachers I met first. I can't remember. Everyone was nice. I mean, I don't remember anybody being like, oh, Mrs. States. Do you remember Mrs. States?
I don't think.
No. Okay, she was here. And then I think she might have left. Or she was down in the bookstore by the cafeteria. She was really great. And that's, it was summertime. So the teachers were just in and out.
Yeah.
Did you have any kind of funny or like memorable moments when you were new on the job that you can kind of laugh about today or look back on?
Yeah. I don't know. Like every day, if there's a funny moment, I don't know. When I first started, oh gosh, I can't think of anything specifically, but it was just fun. I mean, some of the mistakes I made were so obvious, and the first year I was here we were still doing the COVID seating, so it was like every other seat, and everybody had to be in the different sections. Like there was people in the upper commons and stuff. So we were doing that assembly chart for I can't tell you like weeks because it was so confusing and who's going to sit here and who's going to sit there and the mistakes we made and stuff. It was just funny. That was funny. Yeah.
Well, can you walk us through what a typical day for you looks like? Because many people may not know, we get here and you're already in the desk and ready to go, but can you walk us through what that day's like for you?
Okay, so I get here and then I check the attendance. So I check the messages, the emails, the school pass thing, do that. And in the meantime, like people come in and visit, the boys check in. That's it. Just like answer the calls, like, do the attendance. Oh, and then I'll have to look for somebody if I can't find him. Like, where's Charlie? I don't know where he is. So then I'll have to call home and find him. And what else? Just different random things. Like I do the Cadmian hours now. I talk a lot to people. As you can tell, I don't shut up. Yeah, I do a lot of yapping and just like checking people in. And I mean, there's, more obviously, but it's a lot of talking to the students and parents and teachers. A lot of socializing up there.
Yeah.
So
early on, was there kind of that moment where you thought, I'm going to love to work here? Like, was there just that one particular thing where you kind of walked away and you're like, this is somewhere?
You know what? When I first came in for my interview, I left and I called my mom. And I said, Mom, I have got to get that job there. I am going to love it. So, and when you look at it, it's just so amazing to walk in and see, it's beautiful. So that was the moment. When I came for my interview, I left. I said, I got to work there.
Yeah. Well, and part of your job is, to greet people with a smile on your face. But, not all of us have bad days and aren't feeling 100%. So how do you manage to keep a smile on your face, even on days when you may not be feeling 100%?
I don't know. You know what? Everybody is I'm just so happy to... I'm one of those people that have to have a lot of people around them. So I get a lot of energy from everybody. So I think if I do have something that's bugging me, as soon as I get here, I kind of forget about it. So,
yeah, that's
and
great.
Talk to everybody. And
what's one of those like most rewarding things that you find about your job? I mean, you greet so many people, meet so many people, and know so many people. What's just that one? Do you have the most rewarding thing? Of your job?
I have to say I love getting to know everybody, and it's just so fun. I don't know. It is rewarding, like to get to know everybody and get to know, like you, as you guys get older, like, junior and senior year, it's more like a friends kind of thing because you get to know everybody and, they share things with you. So I do like that.
Yeah.
You also interact with so many students every day. One of the things I have is trying to remember everybody's names, right? I mean, we have so many kids here. So how do you kind of remember all those names and faces?
I don't always. Sometimes I forget. Like even the other day, I can't even remember who it was. And I know him. I mean, I talk to him every day. I looked at him, I go, I can't remember your name. And it was very embarrassing. And I felt like so sad. I'm like, because he looked at me like, oh, like, how could you not remember me? And I see him every day. So I do forget. But it's sometimes I just associate things with them, like the way their hairstyle is or something, or maybe something that they're wearing. So that's how I kind of do it.
Well, what's one of the funniest things or requests that a student has ever brought to your desk?
Oh my gosh, this is a hard one. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. I don't know. There's a lot of funny things. Of course, I know. I mean, I'll think about them after, but there's just a lot of funny things. Yeah.
You're so often praised for your kindness, Miss Fornaro. What drives you to be so welcoming and caring?
You know what? I'll be honest. My parents were like that, so I was kind of raised that way, and I do feel bad a lot of times for you guys. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna be somewhere, so many times I would go to my kids' schools, and the people in the office were so crabby, and I never understood that. I mean, you're with kids all day and parents. What could be so bad? So I don't know. I just think that it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing.
What's one of the most heartwarming experiences you've had here? I mean, you've had to interact with so many just core moments of somebody's of people's lives.
Heartwarming moment. I don't know, when people are so sweet and kind and so generous, and I think when somebody will compliment me or something that really, I don't know, or then they share something with me that's very personal, I think that's special.
Yeah. And it's a busy environment. There's a lot of people coming in and out. How do you make sure that each person feels seen and heard, coming into the entrance and coming out?
It's like I said, I talk there. Yeah. I'll just interrupt, and I kind of have to, though, because I want to see who's in the school and who's not in the school. So I don't know, I'm just kind of used to it. I just kind of see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing about your role is it requires a lot of patience, right? And how do you kind of stay patient and resilient, especially when things get stressful, but also when kids have certain...
I do a lot of mumbling under my breath, so a lot of mumbling. No, I'm a pretty patient person to begin with, but sometimes I get to that point, so it's just I'm pretty good at handling it, I think.
How has working at US changed your perspective on life for people? I mean, now you're into your 4th year, but hopefully there's so many more right? Looking to how US has changed your perspective now and maybe even in the future.
I am just in awe every day of what you guys do. I mean, it's like things that I think most adults wouldn't even think about doing. Like the very first year when I was here, that big rocket, you guys did that rocketry thing, whoever. I went home, I said, Mom, they built a rocket. And I was like, you guys are just, I'm in awe of you guys every day. And everybody who will ask me, and I'm like, you know what? You have got to see what they do and go there and look around. It's beautiful.
And what is one of your favorite traditions or events that we have here at the school? Like we have Founders Day, we have, things like that.
I love Founders Day. I think it's so much fun. Is that your favorite? I bet it's your
that's
guys' favorite. I know. I do love that. What else do I like? I like everything. Graduation, of course, is so beautiful. And I like that they're suits. You guys wear your jackets instead of a cap and gown. I do like that. I think everything is fun. Anytime there's something a little different, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like that Shakespeare assembly was very cool this morning. Yes, I really like that. He's one of my favorites, Shakespeare.
Yeah. And also at an assembly, you wore a trophy was dedicated to you. What was going through your mind when you're standing in the wings of the assembly and they call your name?
Like, I hope I don't trip. That's what really, honestly, that was it. So yeah, I was very honored. It was very sweet of them.
Yeah, I mean it's a long walk.
Watching so many classes graduate, what kind of insight or just perspective that you have on what truly makes just a high school and a student's time at our high school so special?
I think that it's just the tradition is amazing. I love that the tradition goes back so far. And I just think that the boys just really learn a lot. And, like I see like a lot of the boys graduate, like and all through the last couple years, especially. Oh, I can't wait to get out of here. I'm so sick of it here. Blah blah blah. The teachers, and they're the first ones to come back in the fall to visit. So I think that even though maybe you think you don't enjoy it, and you have to treasure those times, and I think that they realize after they're gone, they really miss it.
Yeah. Well, if we could help you, what is one thing that students could do to make your day easier or your job easier?
You know what? I don't know, because sign in, because then I can keep track of the time.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
How do you kind of imagine U.S. will evolve in the next 5-10 years, and kind of what excites you about something
Oh
like
my
that?
gosh. I cannot even imagine what you guys are going to do in the next 5 years. Cure something, I'm sure. Someone will cure something. But I'm excited to see that, because I know that something big, I mean, it's big already, but you guys are going to do big stuff.
Yeah. Well, I always wonder when students come up to your desk with an excuse for leaving, like say they're sick or say there's traffic. Do you know when they're lying? Have you been able to put that?
You see, I have to divulge my information now. But a lot of times it'll be the same kids. So sometimes I don't believe them. But there's some kids that don't really come up, so they're kind of telling the truth. But usually I believe them.
Yeah.
I mean, I do and I don't, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Going down to kind of, we asked this legacy question. How do you kind of hope students, teachers, and just everybody here will remember you down the line?
Oh man. I don't know. I guess just being friendly and welcoming everybody, because I love all you guys.
One of the questions that we ask everybody is, what is their why? You're one of the first face people see when they walk into US. You're the voice on the intercom, the one who buzzes people in and out and keeps track of all of our classes. It just makes people feel welcomed and somehow manages to stay calm and kind throughout it all. You're just not the receptionist, but you're really the keeper of
sweet.
all the energies, all the school's energy and warmth. So with that all in mind, what is your why? What keeps you coming back every single morning with that same kindness, patience, and joy?
Oh, how sweet, you guys. I think you guys are great. I honestly can't say that I don't, like, people say, oh, I have to get up and go to work. Honestly, I like going to work. I really love it. And I think you guys funny stories and the things you guys involve me in and the teachers and everything. I think I've never really had a bad experience ever with anybody. Yeah. So I think that's yeah.
Yeah, well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I know we're going up to the
All
time.
right.
So, Mrs. Fornaro, it's
All right.
been great having you on the
Thank you.
show today.
It's been great being on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the
Thanks.
time to share your thoughts, experiences,
Thank you
and
very
stories with
much,
us.
you guys. You guys are the best.
To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Late Start Show, and we'll hope you'll join us next Wednesday for another episode. Thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Fornaro.
Ms. Fornaro.